unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to your live boxing ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to your live.
Yes. Yes. Jaron Boots Ennis pulled up on Vergil Ortiz. Vergil Ortiz got past his last opponent, so Boots is free. Vergil Ortiz is free. They both are coming off of knockouts, and I'm going to break down a potential future fight between Jaron Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz Jr. It's time to get unpacked. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I made a full-fledged breakdown of Vergil Ortiz Jr. versus Erickson Lubin. The card was terrible. The main event, not so good. It was a great performance, but on paper, I think a lot of people were expecting the old Erickson Lubin, like in his prime. And with that in mind, people were like, hey, this could be, I didn't say this, but I'm talking about what I've seen from fans. They were just like, this could be a barn burner type of fight. It was not that. Vergil Ortiz in the first round and the second round, where it ended, virtually did whatever he wanted. You know, he came out a little bit respectful in round one, but he kind of quickly got to fighting how he normally fights. By round two, he opened up. And for whatever silly reason, Erickson Lubin was just on the ropes. I don't know if he was trying to counter, catch, and shoot. I don't know what the game plan was. But if you watch my watch party, which was live as the fight was going on, I'm like, this ain't going to work. The way Lubin is fighting is not the way that I believe he can beat Vergil Ortiz. Because essentially, you're fighting his style of fight. And you have the more questionable chin. You have more mileage on you. You know, all these kinds of things. So check out my What Really Happened breakdown of that fight. I want to focus on this unpacked with Boots versus Vergil. Listen, 2026, let's go. Bring the fight. I will play some audio from their confrontation to give my commentary, but I'm very happy that Boots decided to show up, right? Because initially, and we're just going chronologically here, I watched an interview where this was like a month and a half before Vergil Ortiz Lubin. He was like, yeah, I might go to the fight. I don't know. I'll see what's up. And it didn't sound like he was committed. And I remember saying in real time, he should go. People believe you ducked, whether it's true or not. I don't even care at this point. But some people believe that black cloud is over your head and you potentially ducked, or you, for whatever reason, don't want to fight. And again, I'm not stressing my opinion, but I'm not Stevie Wonder. Ribbon in the sky. Ribbon in the sky. I'm not Stevie Wonder. I see what people are saying. So that's the reality of it. So this was a great step in the right direction, because you say you're not ducking the fade. You're saying you're down to fight him. Your promoter, Eddie Hearns, he's saying the same thing, that you want to fight, and it's a big fight, a great fight. So pull up. That's exactly what he did. And I'm happy for that, because as far as I'm concerned, beating Erickson Lubin, again, it's cool, but he was a 7. They said on the telecast he was a 7-1 favorite. Lubin, Golden Boy was smart to make that match because it was a known, respected name with a good style, southpaw, and it's a good name to have on your resume, especially when you cook him in 2 rounds, right? But if you really know boxing, you'll notice that Erickson Lubin, he wasn't in his prime. And I know the Vergil Ortiz fans, they're going to get all angry. The venomous Vergil fans, right? They're going to get, oh, you're saying that after the fight. I never said anything different before the fight. See, that's why I love my job, because y'all can't do that to me. You could do that to them other folk over there, but you can't do that to me, because everything I think as far as boxing, it comes out of my brain, then it is delivered on a mic and it's recorded pretty much in the cloud on the internet. So you can always revisit what Boxing Ego done said, and it's cost you nothing. It's free. So Erickson Lubin, I told you in real time, when he fought Ramos, I thought he lost the fight, right? He had already got knocked out by Charlo in one round, and that was when he was in his prime and looking like he was undefeated. Then he got like swole up versus Sebastian Fundora, who you know, he's a hard fight to fight at 54, being so tall, but still his face looked all crazy, like goonied out. Hey, you guys, Rocky Road. You know, he had the Goonies face, the Truffle Shuffle face. So that's a reality. And then further in his career, he had some inactivity more recently. But when he fought Ramos, I thought Ramos beat him. And I said that in real time. And then I watched his fight earlier this year, being a diehard boxing guy, on Pro Box TV. And I just felt, given the competition, he probably should have terminated a guy a whole lot easier and a whole lot sooner. So you guys can say whatever you want. Some of you all fed into the talk, and because Erickson Lubin was like, I'm going to show him, I'm going to spoil the Boots fight. Boots can get it next, blah, blah, blah. He's a fighter. So he was just, you know, selling the fight. And I'm sure he didn't expect for it to go like it did. But I don't really rely on talk. I rely on what I'm seeing. And I feel like so many boxing fans, they lose bets, their parlays be messed up because of this one cardinal sin in boxing. They don't believe their own gut instinct and eyes and what their eyes are telling them. And then they go with their heart. Like, I don't have a problem with Lubin. Lubin's cool. I follow his whole career. I like him, actually. Pause. But I'm not going to lie for a fighter and say you're in the prime of your career when I don't believe that. You know what I mean? And people take it so personal, like dangerously personal, like, oh, you just hate Lubin and all this goofy stuff. And then come to find out Boxing Ego is right again. So it is what it is. Now, for the venomous Vergil fans that are like, oh, you're hating Erickson Lubin, I've already told you. I said everything I said about Lubin, I said before the fight. On paper, it was a good fight. Lubin looked spent. He looked like a spent shell case, right? That's what it is. But for the people who are mad and like, oh, man, how can you say that? That's da-da-da-da. Just know you look dumb, because on the DAZN telecast, they pretty much said the same thing
that he used to have. And the one thing we said right at the onset of the fight, Erickson Lubin has to stay off the and do just that. Stop a man that's been stopped before and just doesn't have the same punch resistance and the same chin that he used to have. And the one thing we said right at the onset of the fight, Erickson Lubin has to stay off the and do just that. Stop a man that's been stopped before and just doesn't have the same punch resistance and the same chin that he used to have.
Now, that was Sergio Mora of DAZN, and you know he be on like old media time. So he literally just said Vergil Ortiz has to do just that and stop a man who's been stopped before and doesn't quite have the same chin and punch resistance that he previously had. That's from DAZN. So the own commentary crew is validating what I said. So don't get up here and get mad because what I'm saying about Lubin. Lubin was not, he was in the twilight of his career more than the zenith, the pinnacle of his career. Deal with it. Kick rocks. So they said it on the telecast. And they also said, if you listen, that Lubin fought a dumb fight basically and he didn't do what we said he needed to do, which was stay off the ropes, which exactly that advice is what I said. And for whatever reason, he was laying on the ropes like he wanted to get teed like a punching bag. You know what I mean? Like he wanted Vergil Ortiz to just bop, 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 yay, 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 yay. Like he just wanted Vergil to combo him up. So the Lubin, it's over. It is what it is. He out the way. Congrats. Vergil Ortiz did it. You stopped him. You still didn't stop him faster than Charlo, who stopped an undefeated one. But you still made a good statement with a very good name. And, you know, we move on. But for the Boots fight, now we're cooking with grease. Because Jaron Boots Ennis, I would be shocked if Vergil Ortiz went in there and knocked out Boots in 2 rounds and Boots had no fire and just sat on the ropes like allowing it. It's not going to happen, bro. And a lot of you guys don't know about boxing, so you fall for the okie doke time after time. Time after time. You fall for the same, you feel for the mousetrap every single time. And that's, these fighters have these crazy, electrifying performances, and then you fail to put it in context, right? It's just like, oh, Vergil's unstoppable. But then when he kind of struggled with Boachuk and got dropped, y'all was saying something else. But 2 fights later, Madrimov and now Lubin. See, boxing fans are too fickle for me, right? I don't do any of this off of emotion. Like, none of my predictions, none of my outlooks. Y'all go off emotion. But Boots, he ain't just going to be there he's younger. It surprisingly, what surprised me a bit was the fact that Boots looked so much bigger than Vergil Ortiz, right? They both started in smaller divisions. You know, Vergil was at 140 at a point in time. Boots was at 47. They both were at 47 at the same time as well. And when I'm looking at them side by side, I was surprised to see that Boots looked significantly bigger to me. Now, I'm not dumb. I've been doing this. I understand he had like maybe a bulky hoodie on, but you can still see, I mean, I can with the ego eye, you know, I can still see, you know, about what somebody's size is. But here's the size up of the two. Boots, he's bigger. Now, it's not just about size. Vergil Ortiz has power at 54. Me, I would favor Jaron Ennis. I said that from the inception. You guys, and the good thing about this fight that I like is 2 things. 2 things this fight has going for it that I love. One, you got the race fans. So the race fans, they're only going to go off of national pride and emotion and all that type of stuff. Like, oh, Vergil will do it for La Raza, you know, all this type of stuff, as opposed to breaking down the actual fight, strengths, weaknesses. This guy's going to win because of this. They're going to go off of like skin color and all that type of stuff. We know this, bro. We know how the old media get down, right? So that's one thing I like about it, because when it comes to betting, people are going to bet with their hearts more than like the matchup. The second thing I like about it is based on emotion. Again, we're going to carry over that same sentiment. People are going to go into this fight very unrealistic because, as I said earlier in this video, in this Unpacked, there's a notion that Boots ducked. So they're going to ride with that. And then come fight time, I feel like a lot of people, if it stays like that and people just pick Vergil by a landslide and make Boots a heavy underdog, there's a lot of Boots fans that will make a lot of money on the given night, in my opinion, because it's a great fight. I'm not saying Vergil Ortiz doesn't have an opportunity to win, but if you're asking me, I would easily pick Boots, because I don't want to give too much because I don't like to even do these type of predictions unless they have an actual fight sign, which they don't as of me recording the video. But ultimately, I believe Boots has more in his arsenal than Vergil. Vergil has been very efficient and effective with his style. He's very comfortable with it. He seems like a tough kid. He looks like he works and trains hard. He has power. But in my experience with boxing, when you got two in prime people, you got to look for the distinguishing qualities, which is going to provide that separation. Like if two guys are in the peak of their career, somebody typically has to ascend and like rise above, and on that given night do a little bit more to garner the win, right? And for me, I think Boots overall, he's just more put together. Like, put it this way, and it's going to hurt some people's feelings, but I don't care because I speak what's real to me. If you don't like it, scram. There's the door. You on my right now. You bow down to me. You in my house. For me, there's nothing that Vergil Ortiz does that Jaron Boots Ennis doesn't do. You hear me? I'm going to say it again for the slow people in the back. There is nothing that Vergil Ortiz that I've seen him do that I believe Vergil Ortiz can do, but Jaron Boots Ennis is incapable of doing. For example, Vergil has a pretty good jab, but he doesn't always use it consistently. I know Boots has a good jab. So when it comes to Vergil has a good jab, Boots has a good jab. Vergil has very good punch selection and output. Boots has very good punch selection and output. They both will combo you up. Vergil has power. Boots has a lot of power. Right? So when I'm looking at the matchup, it's solely based on the matchup. I truly believe there are things that Boots can do that Vergil Ortiz can't or won't be able to do, which is why I'm picking Boots. For example, my favorite fighter, one of them of all time, is Roy Jones Jr. If you're a longtime subscriber, you know who a lot of my favorite fighters are because I've vocalized it. I take my legends seriously. So I would never compare somebody to Roy Jones Jr. if I didn't think I'm really seeing some Roy Jones Jr. level stuff from them. Now, I'm not talking about, oh, Boots has Roy Jones's resume. I never said that. But I'm talking about I see some Roy Jones in him in terms of his fight style, right? He still has to accomplish what Jones Jr. did, blah, blah, blah. But there are some like razzle dazzle in histrionics that I've seen in, like, Boots is one of those like crazy fighters where the stuff he does in the gym could show up in the actual fight. You dig? There's fighters out there that if they're doing pad work, the pad work look fire, like bop, 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 and it looks sweet. But they can't do that in the real game. It's like a video game. You ever see a video game trailer and then they'll be like not actual gameplay? Like this X-Men game, all this stuff Wolverine's doing, this is just the backstory. This is just like an animation that's in the game. But when you get the controller to play with Wolverine, hey, bub, Berserker Barrage. When you get to play with Wolverine, he not doing all this stuff that they're showing in like the campaign mode, like storyline. But Boots We talking about Boots. Him, on the other hand, he do in the gym, I've seen it show up in his actual fights. Right? Like when he fought Roman Villa, he was in the Matrix. He was like getting jiggy in there. So my personal opinion, it's what I truly believe. I just think Boots ultimately he could do more. Now, you know, they both could hurt each other and stuff like that. But again, there's nothing that I've seen from Vergil. Like Vergil has dog in him, but I think Jaron Boots Ennis does as well. So I don't really see. Boots' daddy coaches him. Your daddy was coaching you, and now you got Robert Garcia. So Bosie's a good coach too. So I don't really see a significant X factor. I ultimately think Vergil Ortiz stylistically is a bit more one-dimensional. And it's not a bad thing. I think Lomachenko is one-dimensional. I think Manny Pacquiao is one-dimensional, right? And I know this sounds like I'm like bashing people and talking crazy, but I assure you it's not that. The thing is, you can be one-dimensional and be very good at that one dimension. So like Manny Pacquiao, he has a very unique style and it's unique to him and it gives everybody problems. But you never really see Manny Pacquiao get in there and like box like Pernell Whitaker. I watch like mostly all of Pacquiao's fights, especially since he's been Pacquiao, La Dwaba and beyond, right? You never seen him box like that. Like an intelligent boxing, get on your toes, fight off the rope. That's not him. Pacquiao, I believe he is going to Ricky Hatton, rest in peace to my opponent. Like Pacquiao is Pacquiao, just hitting the gloves and do, boo, 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 woo, woo. Footwork is him. But that's his dimension. Very good. Same with Lomachenko. You have never seen Lomachenko win a fight outside of the ways he's won the fight, which is whatever they were calling high-tech mode or whatever, where he bouncing around and moving and jumping and angles, and that's how he wins every fight that he wins, right? Versus a guy like Floyd Mayweather, like I said, Gervonta Davis, Tank, he came up underneath me. He's no longer fighting Jake Paul. Jake Paul, at the end of the day, Tank, what can I say? Absolutely. He's a young, hungry lion. Jake Paul, he got to find a new opponent. Right? Floyd, I've seen him get it done. He'll walk you down. Against Cotto, he fighting off the rope. And I'm talking about in the same fight. He was walking Cotto down, but he was also fighting off the ropes. He did it in the De La Hoya fight. Vergil's never done this. I ain't never seen Vergil, even Ryan Garcia, love him or hate him, will try different things. Like when Ryan was doing the California shell, I mean, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't Floyd. It wasn't James Toney, but at least he's trying something that he probably learned in the gym. Vergil Ortiz, it's the same approach. Yeah, like hard hooks. He got an uppercut. You know, he coming with the same package. It don't matter if you Boachuk and tall and big. It don't matter if you Madrimov and you faint a lot. It don't matter if you Lubin. He kind of fight how he fight. I think Boots truly can get in his bag, and his bag is just deeper. His bag is them pillowcases we used to take when we used to go trick-or-treating. That bag is deeper. So for me, y'all can say whatever y'all want. But for me, an educated man, I got to go with the person with the deeper bag, in my opinion. Boots is black. He's American. He's rhythmic. And people are going to, oh, why you say he's black? Because he's black and you ain't going to do nothing. He's black. It is what it is. The brother is black. So he's black. He's rhythmic. And he probably got good experience sparring with Canelo. He's working. You know, he tore up Stanionis, blah, blah, blah. I think he has better footwork. da da da. And notice, I'm not these other suckers in the game. We can agree to disagree. That's why we got to make the fights. I have not disrespected Vergil Ortiz as a man. I'm not talking about his family. If he were to win, then he wins. And then we talk about that. Like, a lot of boxing content creation has gotten like corny and lame, where it's like, if you have a fight prediction, oh, you hate the other person and you're against them or you're racist. Like, come on, bro. What we on? So I'm just giving you my opinion based on what I've seen and how they fight. No more, no less. You can believe me. You don't have to believe me. I don't really care. I'm going to keep cooking.
Boots, come over here.
Oh.
All right, so that you answered the question. Is this the fight that you want next? Vergil Ortiz against Jaron Boots Ennis.
I think this is the fight that has to happen, man. I think this is it.
It's the best fight in boxing. I think he did a great job. He looked good. But I'm going to show the world why I'm the best in the world. And I'm going to show his team. They've been talking all crazy. They've been talking crazy. And I'm going to back it up. And I'm going to show the world why I'm the best in the world. But like I said,
But no one's been talking crazy, bro. Your dad is the first one that said that I was ducking. It's on video. It is on video that he said we ducked and we didn't get no offer.
it don't matter. The time is now. It's that time. Let's get this money and let's make this fight happen.
It does matter because you said that we're the ones talking. We're not the ones talking. Oh, we started talking after you guys started talking. It's retaliation. It's retaliation.
Your manager's talking all crazy. Oscar's talking crazy. It's the time, and I'm gonna make you pay for everything they saying. Straight like that.
Ain't nobody's gonna pay over here.
I'm gonna make you pay.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I guarantee you. And we can bet whatever. I guarantee you.
I don't want to take your money away, bro. I'm not betting.
You ain't gonna take nothing.
Nah.
You ain't gonna take nothing. I guarantee you. We can bet any amount of money. When we fight, I guarantee you, I'm gonna win.
I don't bet, but don't make any promises you can't keep, bro.
I'm gonna make every promise and I'm gonna keep it straight like that. You're a great fighter. You look tremendous. But I'm gonna show the world I'm the best in the world. I got something for you.
You got a yes for me?
I got a yes right now. Hey Eddie, where the papers at? Hey, where the papers at, Eddie?
We want to.
And there you have it. Now, I ain't gonna beat around the bush. Some of y'all are idiotic in the world of boxing. I seen people leaving comments saying Boots sounded scared. Scared where? Like, where are you? And I let you listen to it. A lot of you watched it. Where did you hear scared? The man is in his ops' territory. Vergil's in Texas. He's from Texas. He fought where he's from in San Antonio, Texas. The man flew out or drove whatever he had to do, flew and made it. Now, keep in mind, previously, Boots had posted on his story, and that's another idiotic thing from y'all, right? Boots posted on his story that his flight was canceled due to the government shutdown, so he can't get to Dallas or San Antonio. He said Dallas, but maybe he had to go to Dallas and then drive to San Antonio. I don't know. Whatever. He said his flight was canceled and pretty much he wasn't going. That was the assumption. I posted about that, and then Boots actually ended up making it and showing up. I don't know if they had different arrangements or put him on a different flight. I don't know how they got it cracking. Eddie Hearn might have pulled strings. Who knows? And they might have sent a PJ for him. Whatever happened, he ended up making it. Hours later, people come to my Instagram and they're like, oh man, Boots is there. What are you talking about? I just seen Boots. Some of y'all are really slow. You don't understand how boxing works. So again, here's the post. I posted this. I show you where Boots said government shutdown, my flight to Dallas got canceled. So at the point in when I posted it, it didn't look like he was going to arrive. What more can be said? And then when he showed up, I updated y'all because I'm amazing and great at my job. And then I showed you that he actually ended up making it. And then people were trying to, oh man, you said he wasn't going to be there. I thought Boots wasn't going to. You can't be this slow. There's no way. There's no way. Moving on. I'm so glad that Jaron Ennis pulled up to the party and actually made it. Because let's be real. If people think you ducked or whatever, if you didn't show up after it was reported that you were going to be in attendance, people would have been like, oh, man, he's ducking. So I don't like that for him. I'm glad he pulled up. As a fan, I'm glad he pulled up because I liked hearing the interaction. He was like, we could do it right now. And then, both guys said their point, but the people saying that Boots sounded nervous and scared, I mean, he got everything off his chest. He did the call out. I mean, it just sounds stupid. I'm not even going to entertain it any longer. If you think he sounded scared, whatever. The man said, I promise I'll bet whatever. I'm taking your make the fight. Eddie, where the paper? I mean, what else could you do? And he showed up. Vergil Ortiz didn't show up for Boots' fight in Philly, if we're being real. So we got to kill that noise. Very happy that he showed up. It was a good exchange. Credit to Vergil Ortiz for not, being a buster and like letting him get in the ring instead of being like, no, he can't come in. And both guys engaged. However, and there's a big however, I'm not even going to put it on Vergil Ortiz at this point because as a man and he's the fighter, I'm going to take him for what he's saying. I'm going to take him at face value. I am very skeptical this fight happens next based on Vergil Ortiz's team. Because De La Hoya, after this interaction, right, De La Hoya was talking about Vergil might fight Errol Spence if he can't fight Jaron Ennis. What do we talk? Where, like, Spence was in the crowd, yes, but where did Spence come from? Spence ain't fought in like 2 years, and Boots is like hawking you down, pulled up to your fight. I just feel like I love EJ. I love what he brought to the game, but he ain't fought in like 2 years. Do people really want to see Errol Spence in his first fight back fight in a brand new division? I know he said he's Mr. No Tune-Ups, but for me, given the current circumstance and activity level and age, I don't want to see Spence and Vergil yet. Let Spence get a tune-up or two and then fight the winner or something. But for De La Hoya to even, I do believe, for him to even say Errol Spence could be the name, that sounds suspect to me because Errol Spence ain't hopping the ring. He was ringside, but he ain't hopping the ring. We don't know his plans, and De La Hoya's already thrown that out. Also, Vergil's own dad was like, oh, we're going after champions and Boots ain't beat nobody. So when people get to talking like that, it's usually against black fighters or Cuban fighters, right? Oh, they ain't beat nobody. They don't put butts in the seats. They can't sell. When people start talking like that, it reminds me of when Guillermo Rigondeaux, El Chicao, was trying to fight everybody. And then like Leo Santa Cruz and Scott Quigg and Frampton, they all had excuses why Rigondeaux wasn't worthy. Oh, he's too boring. This is what they say. He's boring. He's a runner. He can't sell, or his resume is bad. Most of the time when I see that, it's to black or Cuban fighters. But Canelo also did it to a Mexican and Ecuadorian fighter, David Benavidez, where he was like, I don't want to fight someone that shares the same Mexican flag. Media ripped that apart. They're like, all right, he's half Ecuadorian. What's up now? So Canelo moved on and said, oh, his resume's not good. Then he ended up knocking out Andrade, beating a guy you fought, Caleb Plant, and hurting him badly in the latter rounds. His resume improved. He beat Darrell. And then you still had more excuses. Oh, this guy's too mean. He's too disrespectful for me to fight. Ain't that the reason why Canelo should fight him if you feel the guy is disrespectful? And he also said, all Benavidez brings to the table is 15 pounds and I do what I want. So when fighters start talking like that, it doesn't sound good for me, and it don't really sound like you want to fight, right? Because now, granted, the interview I seen with Vergil Ortiz's pops, it was before the Lubin fight, but if they go back to that well of who's he beat and why should we fight him, he can't sell, No. All that stuff is out the window now because he won by knockout. He's at 54. You won by knockout. You're at 54. There would be no point for that whole interaction and engagement if you felt that way. And see, boxing is very fake. The politics are deplorable. What do I mean? You'll have fighters get on social media, on Twitter, and they'll be like, oh, I want this guy. I don't want no other guys to fight. I just want to fight them. And then they'll drum it up for the social media and when the cameras are rolling, right? Like both fighters in the ring, like, make the fight. They got pitchforks and their steam coming out their ears and nose. I want it. Bring him to me, flexing. And then behind the scenes, it'd be something else. So I'm just being real. The pressure and the ball is now on Vergil Ortiz's. It's in his court. Because for me, Boots fought before you, won by similar fashion, first round knockout, did interviews, said he wanted to fight you, and did his due diligence with pulling up. Pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing, right? He pulled up to the scene with his ceiling missing, right? Got in your face, got in the ring, confronted you. He's done his part to drum it up. So if you or your team, he was like, your manager talking crazy. He's talking about Rick Marinigan or whatever. He's like, your manager been talking crazy. Oscar been talking crazy. And now you got to pay. I'm going to make you pay. He talking gangster. He talking spicy. He talking that Philly Aki. He's like, now you going to pay for them words. I promise you. We could bet whatever. And then when he said we could bet, Vergil Ortiz was like, I don't want to take your money. And then he was like, I'm going to make you pay for what they've been saying. And this whole notion, you going to see that I'm special and I'm going to take your money. And he was like, don't make a bet or a promise that you can't keep. And he was like, I'm going to make the bet and I'm going to make the promise and I'm going to keep it. And then Vergil Ortiz, if you listen, all of a sudden he said, oh, I don't make bets. So again, outside of the race fans, how are we going to say that Boots Ennis sounded scared? He said, I'm trying to bet you and take your money. The time is now, F the other stuff. We got time right now. You won your fight. And what I also respect about Boots here is the fact that he pulled up and he's realistic. I can't respect a lot of these fighters that they do jaw jacking and then they say unrealistic things and then it makes you just look like a hater, right? Period. Boots, if you listen, he gave props. He said, you look good. You look phenomenal. You did what you had to do. Very impressive stuff. But basically, I'm not Lubin. I'm a whole different animal. So I can respect that personally, that Boots is not blinded by like hatred or jealousy, and he gave the man his props for a great performance and execution of his opponent. Because let's be real, he destroyed Lubin in 2 rounds. Some fighters would have been like, oh man, it wasn't that impressive. I wasn't impressed by that. You know what I mean? Boots gave him his props. Here, look how big Boots looked next to him. So again, I just want to see a great fight. This is getting me hyped. This is the most hyped that I've been for a fight that could be realistic in a minute. Because for me, it got to a point where I knew Canelo wasn't fighting David Benavidez. So I just got over the fact that it's likely not going to happen. And if it does happen, it'll happen so late, like Amir Khan and Kell Brook, where people don't care and it ain't the fight. Like, like Wilder or AJ. They could fight now, but it's never going to be as big as when Wilder was WBC champ, undefeated. Joshua had the other belts and he was undefeated. You can't redo that. So what I say is strike while the iron's hot. Golden Boy, take the risk. Vergil Ortiz, do not let your team not make this happen because they want to go a different route. Like Oscar talking about Errol Spence. Errol hasn't fought in 2 years. So you rather fight a 47-pounder with 0 fights at 54, you know what I mean, in recent memory, and he coming off a bad loss to Crawford, and he had eye injury, and he had a car crash, right? And he'd been out the ring for 2 years, rather than the man that's in front of your face right now saying, put up or shut up, I'm about to show you what's up. I mean, that'll make boxing look like a joke. And again, I don't want to be pessimistic, but I'm not holding my breath that this fight actually happens, because what I'm hearing, a lot of the talk that I'm hearing, mostly from Vergil Ortiz's side, not him directly per se, but people around him. They're talking about we do what we want and who his boots beat. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear like we would fight Boots if he had a belt. Because again, like I said, boxing is fake. If you don't want to fight Boots because he doesn't have a belt and you're pursuing the belt, then why would you allow this face-off to happen? Why are you going back and forth? Why didn't you state this in the face-off? You see what I'm saying? Like, fine. If a fighter's like, I want to be a champion at 54, Boots doesn't give me that, and that's your honest opinion, I guess we have to accept it. But what we can't accept is doing a face-off, talking trash, and hyping people up for a fight, and then turning around and saying, we don't want to fight him because he don't have a belt for us. Because if that was the case, what is the point of this? What you see on your screen? What is the point of going back and forth? Why didn't you say, I'll fight you in the future once you get a belt? Because again, people don't want to look bad, and people don't want to look like they don't want it. So people will say whatever in front of the camera, but then the politics behind the scenes be something else. I've seen it many, many times where people will swear up and down they want to fight. And then I know fighters where I've seen behind the scenes emails and things like that where the person didn't really want it, but on Twitter, it looked like they want it. You know what I mean? So I hate to sound pessimistic, but I hope we don't get into that territory where this fight is some long drawn out saga. I feel like this fight had an opportunity to be made 2, maybe 3 times already, and it's failed. There's no better time. Boots is undefeated and coming off a first round knockout with Lima. Vergil Ortiz, undefeated, coming off of a second round knockout over a better opponent, Lubin. And it's just a great fight for fans. So why would we keep prolonging it? Why would we keep waiting? If you wait, you're leaving it to chance. I don't believe in that. Strike while the iron's hot. Like, if you had a job interview for a job you really wanted and they were going to pay you well, it was a union job. They call you on Friday, say, we want to hire you. We liked your 3 interviews. We want to hire you. If you don't call them back within a reasonable amount of time, I guarantee you they are going to move on without you. It's the way of the world. They're going to be like, oh, we ain't heard from John Doe. We ain't heard from Ego. Maybe if they got time and they really want you, they'll call you again. But then after that, if they can't get a hold of you, the show must go on. One monkey don't stop no show. And they're going to find someone and get that position filled, especially if it's an important position. So I believe in striking while the iron's hot. The job, don't give them an opportunity to fill, or they might, if you wait, they might interview somebody that's better and more qualified and cheaper and smarter and answering the questions better and dressed better. But if you strike while the iron's hot, yes, I want the job, then, you in the door. Boxing is the same way. You wait, and then the fighter loses. A fighter gets knocked out. Fighter gets knocked down. Fighter gets exposed. Even if it's a win, there's times where guys win and we know the guy shouldn't have won. So it just ends up hurting the fight when you wait. And boxing continues to make this mistake. I hope it doesn't make it here, because for me, this would probably be my most anticipated fight. T.O. versus Shakur is cool. For me, this is better because styles make fights. The way Vergil fights, he fights with heart. He fights with honor. He's a hard hitter. You know what I mean? So I like the style matchup here a whole lot more than even a fight like Shakur. Damn, he had Lubin out of here, cuz. Look at Lubin. Bro, he had Lubin out of here, cuz. He had his eyes closed, standing up. Nah, bro. Anywho, strike while the iron's hot. Make the fight. It's a great fight. I feel like it's the ultimate alley-oop for this fight. Both guys had impressive early knockouts, and they're both in the same division, and they just had to face off. So what would you wait for? It would look stupid if they wait. You know what I mean? Like, you just had this face-off. You got all the momentum for the particular fight. Make it. But as far as people saying Boots sounded scared, you sound stupid. And I could tell that's armchair critics anyway, who ain't never been outside or lived real life or been in a fight, because you don't know what being scared is. Being scared is not getting on a flight, pulling up, and saying your piece when you get in front of somebody. What in that is scary? Don't even make sense. Being scared is like, if you're scared, why would you even put yourself in? Like, people are scared to public speak. So if they can help it, they avoid it, right? I'm scared to speak in front of public. So they'll dodge it. That's what people who are truly fearful do. They avoid their fear. They avoid the pain. They avoid the potential embarrassment, right? Or like me, I'm a YouTuber. The reason I'm successful as a YouTuber for so many years is because I wasn't afraid. I didn't wait. I didn't care if like people threw tomatoes at me and said, "Oh, I hate your boxing takes," or "You suck." I'm with all that. I'm with all that smoke. Ain't nobody on no internet finna break me. You know what I mean? But most people don't get started because they're fearful. They want to be a YouTuber. They want to try their hand at it, but they're too afraid to get behind the wheel. I know people that fear has plagued them for so long. I know adults, people who are like 50, 60, 70, people's parents and stuff, that never had a driver's license because of that fear of getting behind the wheel for whatever reason. It plagued them so much that they were scared to learn to drive. So for 60, 70 years, they never had a license, and they always had to rely on public transportation, Ubers, Lyfts, other people, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't be me, you know, couldn't be me. But, you know, to each his own. People got their own fears. So, yeah, I can't say Boots is fearful when the man pulled up. Isn't that what fans wanted? Fans, I feel like fans are worried. They know Boots is the real deal, and that would be a tough fight for Vergil Ortiz, so they just saying whatever, trying to get some narrative going. Being scared, you probably wouldn't even show up or get in the ring. You'd be like, man, I'm going to let him have his moment. You don't pull up and talk like that if you're fearful. So I don't think it was ever about fear. I do think early on there were some things that Boots' side did and how they moved that didn't necessarily put them and paint them in a good light. But at this point, I don't even care about that. It happened. Whatever, let bygones be bygones. Whatever happened to that point happened. It played out how it played out. Y'all could get this fight cracking right now. Get it popping right now. It's still time. No one's fighting for the rest of the year between them two, Boots or Vergil Ortiz. You got plenty of time to negotiate. Get it cracking by the spring. That's my take. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe for more boxing news. I got y'all. Boxing news 24/7. I'm here. Let me know how I broke down this fight and potential future fight. Let me know what you think of Vergil Ortiz and Boots face-off, as well as Vergil Ortiz storming down on the hammer Lubin and hammering the hammer. I need to know what y'all think about that. Check out some of my other videos. I got my affiliate link. Shout out to everybody who sent Cash App, Super Chats, paid attention, and came for the watch party. All that helps the channel continue to grow so I could put out long form heat rock like this And if y'all like the Heat Rock, y'all know what to do. Subscribe and continue to support. We unpacked. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself. Especially if you're new, but even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.